Hi, my name is Jenny. You found my channel called Senior Perspective. I'm glad you did. Today we're going to be talking about some answers Christine gave about her life, especially in relation to Kody. So let's get started. Hi there. I am going to be recapping the podcast that Christine did with Heather McDonald. I'll put the link down below so that you can watch the full thing if you want to. But what I'm also going to do is do about, 3 to 5 videos breaking down the different segments, answering questions that I thought were interesting in this interview.
I'll make this short and sweet.
And of course, we'll talk about it. Let's go. Today's question that we're going to be covering, this isn't necessarily the question that was presented to her, but with the information I'm synthesizing, I'm creating these into different questions. Question number 1. When did Christine find out that Kody didn't love her? So in the interview, Heather McDonald made reference to that time when Kody seemed like I believe it was the one-on-ones, and Kody seemed like he was going to admit his fault and the errors of his ways and everything he did wrong and why the relationships broke down and what he did wrong. And he said it was my responsibility and went on to say, because I married somebody I never loved. Oh, remember that? I'll put in a clip of my review of it here. Suki asks Kody, do you blame Christine for breaking up your big picture? And Kody comes back with, no, I blame myself.
Really?
And at that moment, I thought, whoa, when did he become reflective? Like, we're growing up as this interview is going on. Like, he's taking responsibility here. I've never heard him say, I blame myself. He goes on to say, it's not my fault for marrying a woman I did not love.
You got me.
Suki responds in shock to that.
Do you blame her for destroying the big picture?
No, because that's all my fault for marrying a woman I didn't love.
Ouch.
And Kody doubles down. He says, no, that's truth. And she knows it. So in this interview, Christine said that her and David the night before sat down and were watching this one-on-one. They had not seen any of it. So when Kody said that, she said her and David were both like, what? They both thought he was doing the same thing that I said in my video that I thought when I watched it. Like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to fess up. He's going to take responsibility for the first time in his life. Nah, he didn't. So Christine was talking to Heather and laughing about how her and David were just talking about this. I think actually earlier that day they were discussing it based on what they had seen the night before.
So last night in the episode, we see that he goes, well, my mistake. It's my fault that this marriage ended. Thinking he's finally going to take some responsibility of saying, like, I didn't honor her. She always had to be the happy, fun one and supportive, yet I could be an unsupportive asshole anytime I wanted. Like, I get it now. He says, well, it's my fault because I married a woman I didn't love.
I know. Heather, we were just talking about this morning. David and I just barely said the exact same conversation that we are having right now. We're like, there we are waiting for this, like,
epiphany. Yeah, finally.
Taken care of my family better. I should have,
And she said they were laughing about the fact they thought he was going to fess up too. She should know better. She lived with him for all those years. Was it 28, 30 years, something like that? Well, if Mary's been married for 33 years, and Christine was probably 3 years before that, but then she actually left Kody 2 years before that, so maybe 28 years of marriage, let's say. And she was still duped. I guess I don't feel so bad that he dupes me when I watch stuff. And I'm like, oh, he's changed his leaf. And on my last video where I said, you know what, I think I believe him, all of you disagreed with me. They're like, you're getting full, Jenny. Wake up. You're probably right. I just try to see the best in people, I suppose. I guess the point is I want to review it and shoot from the hip as I see it at that moment and not read too much into it from the past. But obviously, the past comes into play and affects the present. There's no way of ignoring the past. So y'all are right. He fooled me. he probably didn't mean any of those nice things he said about Christine in that talking head interview that he had during the part 1 of Christine's wedding. All right, I won't talk more about that. There's a whole video on part 1 of Christine's wedding you can watch. Actually, there's 2 parts covering Christine's part 1 of the wedding. I know it's hard to follow. I think, though, what I want to say is that what struck me the most in this interview is that Christine said she did not know until she read the book that Kody did not love her at the start of her marriage.
Is that so?
Yes, that's so.
So he didn't give her a heads up, people. He never said, listen, I put something in this book that's going to be very, very hurtful to you. 1, I shouldn't have put it in the book. But 2, I'm so unaware and self-absorbed that not only did I put it in the book, but I didn't even tell my wife, by the way, I wrote something really nasty and horrible about you in this book. Gosh, he's a piece of
Poop.
So Christine knew nothing about the famous nacho incident until she picked up the printed book herself and sat down and read it. And Christine did go on to say that after she read that and after she read about what he felt about her at the beginning of their marriage, that they did have a lot of discussions about it. And they talked through it all. Now, of course, this book came out after he was married to Robyn. So now he's just throwing everything out willy-nilly.
He doesn't care.
And of course, denying that he ever loved her. But Christine still stands that, yeah, their wedding day wasn't great. And she also noticed that Kody was kind of distant during it. But she really believes that their relationship grew closer and closer and closer as they were married. Clearly, Kody does not marry people he loves. That's not a criteria. I'm not sure what the criteria is. I'm thinking just a willing, able body. Because if love isn't a criteria, what is? What? I don't know. He was just collecting women. Collecting women because all of a sudden at age 24, he adopted a new faith that believed you have to have 3 women to have some sort of extra kudos up in heaven. Never believed it for 24 years, but now he believes it. And so it seems clear to me that he never saw a relationship and love as part of the equation at all. It literally was like collecting cattle.
I literally know everything.
It's so disgusting.
But I really feel like he used to love me. The thing is when I read the book, I found out in the book that he said he didn't love me at the beginning of our marriage. And that's when I was like, excuse me, what? And we had a lot of conversations after that, for sure.
That was where where he described the nacho scene.
Oh, gosh.
That you were eating nachos and he was extremely turned off by you eating the nachos.
I know, and I
And
didn't know.
All right, I just wanted to share the little bit that she said about this situation. I have many other short videos coming out that are going to cover all the rest of the topics. I'll record them all now, and over the course of the next week, because I'll be traveling for a week, I will try to, as time permits, throw one out to you. All right, I hope you enjoy them. Let me know if you enjoy these and if you enjoy this little short form as well. See you next time with another question to Christine.
Now that it's over, I guess it was kind of fun.